Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to take a look at the Justin Lundquist made by Kansept Knives, Reverie. Reverie? It's Reverie. It's a Reverie. It's a Anyway, so let's start off with doing some wonderful size comparisons because that's what every knife guy has to do. All right, let's take a look at it here it is next to a AA battery. And here it is next to a blue mouse cat toy. Toss that for the cat. And here it is next to a whammy bar for an electric guitar. And all silliness aside, here it is next to the Cold Steel 4 Max Scout and the Cold Steel Mini Tough Light. And one more size comparison. We will put it next to the Spyderco Paramilitary 3, a knife that a lot of people have. And you will see that it's really close to the same size as the Paramilitary 3 with a lot more cutting edge. Seem to say that a lot about knives, don't we? A lot more cutting edge than the Para 3. Let's measure it up. So this knife weighs 2.8 ounces. It's got a blade length of 3 inches. More like 2 15/16. Handle length of just over 4 inches for an overall length of 7 inches. Math. It's got a blade steel of S35 VN. The body part is made of titanium. The bolsters, or whatever you want to call these handle scale overlays, are natural micarta. They come a little bit rougher than this. These are kind of worn in and starting to smooth out. You get a titanium bent pocket clip. It's not really, I don't think they machine that. Well, they probably partially machine it and partially bend it. As you can see, if you looked at my assembly video, there's lots of milling on this knife, inside, outside, all over the place. That's why it's so light. It is action-wise a top flipper, I guess. You can use it as a front flipper. I'm no good at front flipping. I like it as a top flipper. It's pretty dang smooth. Not bad at all. It's got a titanium backspacer with, ta-da, hidden lanyard post, so there's no hole. Yay, bravo, good job. So what do I like about this knife? Well, let's start with the blade. Blade's S35 VN, which is good steel. They do a really nice stone wash job on it. I have used this knife a lot, as you can see. Got a crown spine, really nice jimping. I call it clockwork jimping. Really nice. It has Justin's maker mark on there and some other stuff. Justin Lundquist Reverie S35 VN serial number. And then on this side, it's got the logo for Kansept Knives. The blade is got some flat, some belly, a nice sharp tip. If you look at it, the tip is right at, or just maybe a little bit, it's right at center line of the knife, maybe just a little bit above. It's, I guess they would call that a clip point blade. The jimping on it is purposeful, but doesn't hurt your fingers at all. So one thing I will note that is not great is the plunge grind does get into the grind of the blade. That's not great. They could have just give you a little bit more of a sharpening notch there, but you get that on a lot of knives, so it's not a huge deal. Moving on back here to the handle scales. The micarta is good. T6 screws, whatever. They're just holding those on there, so it's not a big deal. It's not really a captive pivot, but it seemed to work okay. You have one thing one thing I like about this is when you look at it, you can know it's a Justin Lundquist just by this. Like, I think he's done this on his Kaiser knives, the Feist or whatever. They all have that machining on there. I think that's for pinch grip. And it's also just an identifying mark that you can look at it and know who designed it. And I like that. I think that's very cool. It is titanium, so it's lightweight. So it's kind of like a titanium frame lock. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Pena knives, which is what I wanted, but at the price, could not afford. This one is quite a bit cheaper than what Pena makes, although the Penas are really nice too. They're made by Riot Knives. The fit and finish on this is decent. You can see there is some gaps, a little bit between the micarta. Let's zoom in, that might work better. Between the micarta and the titanium, they do not line up perfect. There's a little bit of gappy here, but everything's rounded and chamfered nice. So holding it in the hand, it's really, really good. It's not like, there's no real bad hot spots or anything like that. The handle is a little bit on the thick side. It's a 1/2 inch thick, which some people may not like. I kind of like, I think 1/2 inch. I don't like over 1/2 inch, but 1/2 inch and below I like. And right at 1/2 inch for this particular knife in hand, it just feels really good. It feels really good. Everything is just like nice and rounded, which is really good. Even there's even chamfering on the little back spacer. And look, no gaps or anything. The back spacer fitting is really good. So there's a little bit of unevenness right there. But that's really hard to do to get perfect and stay under the $200 price point. There's why I dropped it and it hit some concrete at work. So you'll get a little of that from time to time. That's what happens when you actually use your knife. Lockup is about 40%, I would say. Has a really nice cutout here. Access to the lock bar is super easy. The lock bar tension is a little on the light side, but it's good enough. One of the things I really like about it is the lock bar and the blade tang. It's nice and flat. It's enough angle to keep it from sliding all the way over, but it's flat enough that you don't get lock stick and you get a really nice lockup. You know, you get a really good engagement on there. And then as you can see, the blade kind of goes into that little scoop there on the lock bar kind of goes into that little scoop on the blade, which is kind of nice too. I think that kind of helps a little bit. I don't know. But it's good. It's good. This is not what I would consider a super hard use knife. So the other nice thing is, with it being a bolster lock, you do not get the death grip. Can't open it. I like that the lock bar cutout is kind of on the inside, so you don't got a big old gap right there when the knife's closed. So that's kind of nice. The pocket clip carries just fine. It's not as deep. It's not a super deep, but it seems to get over fabric okay. The tension's really good on it. Doesn't tear your pants, which is nice. Ergonomically, like if you look at the handle, it's just a stick, which is a really good thing. Kind of a banana-shaped stick. So that's good too. Like there's really not a lot I can say bad about this knife. This is another one of those knives I'd say, yeah. I mean, it may not be everybody's thing, but hey, you got nothing pecking at your stuff in the pocket, so when you pocket it, there's no flipper tab sticking out. One of the cool things is the way the clip is and the shape of the knife. When it's hanging in your pocket, it leans towards the back, so when you slide your hand in, you have lots of room. So that is nice. That is nice. Really a short review, I guess. I thought I'd have more to say. It does have a detent ball ramp, so when you do that, like, there is no, look, I can get it almost, there is no forcing the detent ball up onto the blade. So that's really, really nice. It could be a little faster smoothness of it, but that's okay. That's okay, it's fine. It's good, it's really good. And when you consider what some of these top flippers are going for, the price is really good. Centers up just fine if you watch my disassembly video. I did have to stuff something beside the blade just to kind of help things line up a little better, but it worked out just fine. Into your stop pin, we know all about that from the disassembly video, go watch that. Yeah, I would say For the price, I just looked now, they're on, I got that one for like 140 something. And now, all of a sudden, they are like 180. So I don't know. Of course, that's for different handle materials. So I don't know if you can still find the natural micarta ones for cheaper. But even at 180, I think it's a pretty good deal. A pretty good deal for when you get to looking inside it and taking it apart. And even on the outside, like you just look at all that machining, like that nice little bit of, since it is right hand only tip up, they got that nice jimping on the right side of it and then on this side, so you don't have your thumb dragging on anything. Just a lot of nice little details, and look, this machine's so nice and clean. So that's really nice. And if you look at it this way, there is just enough access, all that you need. I have never had any kind of problems at all with disengagement on this knife. The micarta just is patinaing up just nice. You can kind of see what it used to look like right through there. It's starting to darken up and get a nice patina on it. So yeah, there you go. That is it. The Jason Lundquist design. Kansept knives, Reverie. I'm not even sure what Reverie means. It's a great knife. It's a great knife. Competitive options. I don't even know if you can still get this, but here's one. Also micarta with about the same size blade and stuff. It's pretty neat. What else do I got? Not a front flipper, but a little bit bigger, but still nice. You guys have seen this knife so many times anyway. And that's really about it. Kansept knives, I'm really happy with them. I'm really happy with them. So, still looking for subscribers, guys. I can't do a giveaway if we don't reach a number, and I can't decide on a number because I can't figure out how fast I'm getting subscribers. Isn't very fast. If there's anything you want me to change, please leave a comment below. If there's anything you want to see, please leave a comment below. And get your family, turn off the TV, shut down the computer, get outside, enjoy the outdoors. Toad sticker out.